Hello and welcome. During the next 14 minutes we will discuss about change management. We will see why is it important and how even the most successful organizations can fail. What is the process and how employees usually react to change? And, as a bonus, you can find in the description below a ready-to-use PowerPoint presentation. If you enjoy it, don't hesitate to comment, to like or to subscribe. Let's get started. Have you ever noticed that integrating employees into existing systems and culture is a lot simpler, in comparison with asking them to change? Why is that? Why is it so difficult to implement change? Let's look at the following graph, which represents how organizations are adopting change. When one reaches the self-determined definition of success, it will in most of the cases build walls around. Without even realizing it, will fall into the so-called comfort zone. Early majority organizations are the ones exploring their options. They need confirmation that something works. It was already tested by others and it's kind of the sure thing to do. Early adopters are the ones going outside their comfort zone and pioneer the latest technologies. Are the ones willing to take higher risks but also can benefit from higher returns. Innovators are almost like a unicorn. It's very unlikely you will have one next door. But unlike unicorns, they actually exist and they are the crazy ones changing the world. And last, and also the least, laggards. They are the ones which drifted from their comfort zone to oblivion without even realizing. I am sure you do remember Xerox. In 1959, Xerox launched the 914 photocopier and revolutionized the document copying industry. This is something that you already know. What you maybe don't know is that Xerox also had a fantastic research center. Their inventions include the mouse, the laser printer and a Windows icon-based user interface. Sounds familiar? For years Xerox management did absolutely nothing with their cutting-edge inventions and continued to profit from the 914 photocopier. Meanwhile, Apple, Microsoft and HP borrowed their technology and made billions. In 2007 Nokia was earning more than 50% of all the profits in the mobile phone industry, and in 2008, Nokia was said to have one of the most valuable brands in the world. Even more, Nokia has been a surprisingly adaptive company, moving between different businesses such as paper, electricity or rubber shoes. They also made a great move anticipating the rise of cell phones and got rid of everything but the telecom business. Nokia came up with the first smartphone back in 1996, 11 years before the iPhone, and built a prototype of a touchscreen, internet-enabled phone at the end of the 90s. Also Nokia continuously spent enormous amounts of money on research and development. So what went wrong? Nokia focused mainly on hardware and decided to ignore software and also underestimated how important the transition to smartphones would be. They overestimated the strength of its brand and believed that they will quickly catch up. Sadly for them, it was the wrong decision. BlackBerry had in 2007 more than half of the phone market in the US. But even after the iPhone release in June same year, BlackBerry ignored for a significant period touchscreen-based technology and stayed between the walls of their comfort zone. Same as for Nokia. Moving from comfort zone back towards innovation was impossible for a company this big. Instant photography at the push of a button. During the 1960s and 70s, Polaroid was maybe the coolest technology company on earth. They were an innovation machine that launched one must-have product after another. Polaroid grew from being a garage startup in 1937, into a billion-dollar company. What they failed to realize was that digital cameras were going to be the way of the future, and once they did it, it was too late. Polaroid filed for bankruptcy in 2001. In 2005, Yahoo owned 21% of the online advertising market. It was number one among all players. Yet today, they are struggling to maintain their number 4 position behind Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. Where did they go wrong? Yahoo decided not to be a dominant search player and outsourced their search engine to Microsoft Bing. Also, Yahoo had the possibility to buy Google in 2002 for $5 billion. Google is now the number 1 brand value in the world, worth over $245 billion, 50 times more. And, they did it again with Facebook in 2006. For some reason they lowered their $1 billion offer during negotiations and Mark Zuckerberg quit negotiations. Facebook is now the number 5 brand value in the world, worth over $129 billion. If I would ask you where would you place iPhone in 2007, what would you answer? Most likely you would say that Apple was among the innovators. The best phone ever made. But what if I would ask what do you think about Apple in 2018? It might be that most of us would say that Apple is somewhere in the comfort zone. The best iPhone we ever made. Will Apple have the same faith as Xerox or Nokia? Only time will tell. I think one thing we can say for sure today. Changing and getting out of the comfort zone, it's not easy. Even companies with almost unlimited resources fail. Why is that? What makes change so difficult? Truth to be told, all people want more of something. So if we would ask who wants change, all hands would be up. But if we're to ask, who wants to change, people might not be equally responsive. We all want to be more important, have more money, be more attractive or have a better job, but we would love to get it all without leaving our comfort zone. So what can we do to have a better chance to implement change? Dr. John Kotter is proposing a model that organizations can follow in order to be more successful when trying to change. According to him, all organizations that go through a change process should have a clear image of how the future will look like and leaders determined to get there. Isn't that a long way down? I do hope I will not end up breaking my neck. Haha. Now, how many people you know that adopted a new behavior without some extraordinary event happening in their life? If leaders will not inspire a strong sense of urgency, most likely no change will happen. Change can be considered a success when the critical mass of individuals have made the shift so that the rest will follow. Leaders should make sure they have early followers. People that understand the need for change and are ready to convince others to join. You are more likely to have early followers if you have a good plan for reaching your vision, with clear in-between checkpoints that show you are on the right path. And, do you remember? All people want something. Having an incentive for each milestone will definitely make change more desirable. No plan is perfect. Especially when talking about significant changes, organizations will face unforeseen obstacles. For this reason, staying flexible is critical. Get it? Flexible. Haha. I made a joke. Congratulations. You made the change. Not. Haha. I made another joke. I know you find me hilarious. All my avatar friends do. The problem is that once experiencing new behaviors, and getting outside comfort zone, people tend to find their way back to it. So last, but not least, you need to prevent regressive behavior. Okay, maybe nothing that extreme. But one should make sure the right systems, procedures and processes are in place so that going back to the old ways is impossible. All these steps seem quite logical, but there are two of them which most of the time are performed poorly. A. Humans are extremely bad at understanding when the need for change is critical. And B. Leaders rarely put the interest of the people on the first place when doing a change, and, for this reason, nobody wants to follow them. So just imagine a transformation, where employees don't really feel that there is any urgency, and also they feel that nobody cares about what they want. Statistically, 70% of change programs fail, and these are maybe two of the main reasons. And, while you might agree with me on point B, you could disagree on point A. But mark my words, humans are no better than a frog, when it comes to evaluating a situation and taking action to change. Don't believe me? Italian scientists, haha, made an experiment in which they introduced a frog directly into hot water.
We boiled the frog.
As you might expect, the frog jumped immediately out.
Un altro tentativo.
Next, the scientists took the frog and put it into normal temperature water where the frog was feeling comfortable. They started to slowly heat the water. Do you know what happened? The frog stayed there until it died. Kids, don't do this at home.
Why not?
You might say, oh, frogs are so stupid. Humans are nothing like that. But how many times have you seen a friend in a bad relationship and being too afraid to make a change? Or, do you know someone that continued smoking although his health was like boiling water? How many of you are still stuck in a job with no perspectives because you are too afraid to make a move? Your entire planet is boiling. Global warming, it's a proven fact. And yet, how many of you actually do something about it? Just like a frog in slowly heating water, you can't feel global warming. And just like for the frog, When water will be boiling, it will be too late. Humans would go through almost any compromise, just to avoid radical changes. It's in their DNA to always try to adapt. So yes, you are no better than frogs. So what could be the solution? How to make such conservative creatures be more responsive to change? The other creature. Haha. Tony Robbins describes to us what are the 6 human needs that drive all our actions. I know what you are thinking. Walking on water. Just like Jesus. Tony explains that the 6 needs are at the core of our personality. They drive all that we do and they are part of us since we are born. On top of that we have the system of values and beliefs. Unlike the needs, these are shaped through life by many different influencers, such as family, education, friends, religion, society and so on. And so, the needs, the values and beliefs at the bottom, together with the overall energy of the person will surface into concrete actions and behavioral patterns. Hey buddy. Easy with the temper. We have enough global warming as it is. The Jesus 5 exit. Haha. Let's get back to the 6 needs. Tony divides them into needs of the personality and needs of the spirit. The first one is the need for certainty, or security. A person mainly driven by this need has a strong desire to control all things around. To plan in advance and anything unexpected will generate a lot of stress. Funny enough, the next one is the exact opposite, the need for uncertainty, or diversity. A person driven by this need will most likely have little concern about future, live in the moment and constantly search for new exciting things to do. Next, comes the need for significance, or importance. A person driven by this need will most probably desire to always be in the center of attention. Also, there is a good chance that it will pursue management positions or a political career. The last need of the personality is the one for connection and love. A person driven by this need will be willing to let go of personal benefit for the sake of harmony and peace with those around. It will most likely avoid any fights and will have deep care for the emotions of others. The first need of the spirit is the one for growth. People driven by this need will be in a continuous pursuit for development, regardless of the field that they have chosen. And finally, the need for contribution, or the need to do good deeds. A person driven by this need will usually make contributions to charity, or help others in need with whatever resources available. Most people have all the 6 needs, but 2 of them will be the dominant one which will win over others. Also, individuals would do very different things in order to satisfy the same type of need. For example, a firefighter would risk his life in order to feel important, while somebody else would join a gang and commit crime, for the exact same reason. Also, when a person or a habit is satisfying 3 or more needs, it becomes an addiction. Why is all this so important? Employees are engaged within a certain company because their dominant needs are fulfilled. Otherwise, not having their needs met will cause them pain. They will disconnect, and if nothing improves, they will leave. And giving more money is not a bulletproof solution. You might end up having better paid, disconnected employees. So, to successfully implement change, one needs to show how continuing on the current path will lead to a painful future. And at the same time, how adopting the new ways will lead to the fulfillment of one's most important needs. Combine this with Kotters' model and you are one step closer to success. As a final thought, just remember, there is no shortcut for change management. You have to do it, one person at a time. I hope you found the presentation valuable. And you enjoyed my stylish presenting. Haha. If yes, hit the like button and subscribe for more action to come. Best of luck.